Alright. Alrighty. Live. Huzzah. I'm gonna do some StormWorks today. Chat switch to live. Do a quick refresh on this real quick. Here we go. And I think everything's ready. Ready, steady, go. There we go. I'm just doing some final touches on the whole stream setup right now. So, my plans on StormWorks today is build a boat and shoot some stuff. Basically what the description discloses, really. Now, what kind of boat? I don't know. I haven't decided what boat it would be yet. I'm thinking about like some sort of smallish boat, you know. Maybe like some sort of gunboat, maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, I recently figured out how to stabilize velocity pivots and whatnot to where it makes them viable turrets. Like, there are viable turret pivots, but my biggest problem with them, at least with my previous builds, was that they had a lot of drift to them, which made long-range aiming very difficult because of the constant drift. Well, I recently figured out how to fix that. Turns out you need clamps. Logic clamps to clamp the numerical input or something like that. So I applied it to one of my tank builds, and it worked fantastically. It wasn't perfect, but I mean, whatever is. I'm just disabling all this stuff, the sea monsters and whatnot. Ooh. With the player damage. We're not playing that game yet. I'm pondering on. You know what? No, we're gonna keep it simple and neat. I want to be able to build a single boat in this entire in the stream without having to break it up into different segments. And for the funsies of it, I'm going to build it in this view. But it is neat. We got some Metroid music going on in the background. Just do it simple, keep it neat. Now I'm pondering on what kind of engines to use. I'm just feeling this up really quick. Fascinating. Alright. One way I like to go about building a boat is I like to grab the hinge door. Unpowered is best, because you can lock these, and also you don't need buttons and power stuff that can fail, because you can still open these and whatnot. Now, let's see what kind of engines we're going to use. I have some mods installed. Just basic mods and whatnot. Hey, welcome to the chat. Now, I like to go for the engines that has the most power output. Like high power output. Because, you know, boats and whatever. What mod gives me radial engines? Ooh. I forgot. I need to hear. Let me look into that really quick so I could tell you. I need to open up the Storm loader. I know it's some sort of additional part mod. But these radial engines are nice. I wish it would just tell you where the mod came from, actually. Like how Minecraft does it. Oops. Wrong button. Alright. Let's see. Launching the Storm loader really quick, because I would actually like to... I think it's either part of the ship pack mods, or maybe Thales Aviation Parts and Block Overhaul mod. It's either of those mods. I recommend both of them, actually. Actually, no, it's not really XML stuff. I'm pretty sure it's on the Steam Workshop at this point now. Here. Let's see. Workshop. Fails. Aviation. Let's see if it's in here. And it's in here. Let's see. Ship parts. It's very easy to get a workshop mod, actually. You just go there and go onto the Steam Workshop, search on whatever mod you want, and then click the little check mark button that, or a subscribe button that pops up when you click on it. Ooh, they added more parts to the additional tank mod. Ooh. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting sidetracked from boat building. Thankfully, modding has gotten a lot more simpler as of late for StormWorks. Because back then you had to use StormLoader to put in a mod, and half the time mods weren't really officially supported yet. Right, so we're going to make a small scale boat. I want to make a nice, reasonably sized patrol boat gunship thing. Let's make it 2 decks, I guess. Like surface deck, and then lower deck, and then the bottom sub deck. Maybe that's too big. We'll keep it this small. I love mods for some reason, but I can't build with them because I like to use... multiplayer servers. Yeah, that's one of the issues with playing mods with these kinds of games. Same thing with Minecraft, really. Is that if you want to play it on a multiplayer server, you have to make sure that server has those exact same mods installed onto your game as well, and it could be unattractive for a lot of people, especially server owners who want to run modded servers and whatnot. I say small gunship and I'm making like a frigate or whatever. I'm doing the sideways profile first. I want... It is a problem. You know, here. One nice way that Space Engineers goes about mods is that the way they have their system set up is, let's say you are the host of a multiplayer session and you have a variety of mods installed and your friends want to play with you too. Well, you know, 2 decks, yeah. So technically 3, I guess. But let's say that you're a host and your friends want to play, or you want to run a multiplayer one. To the outside, actually, yeah. The worldview, I think it applies some amount of performance impact, but the worldview is a really good way to get a nice perspective of how big your ship is. Another good way for perspective when it comes to building is using doors, because doors are the block height of the player. I mean, obviously, you have to be able to go through the door when you open and close it, walk through. So let's see. I'm just gonna block this off. This is boat length. We are making neat boat. But with Space Engineers, how they went about with mods, and I think modded servers as well, is that the server will have the mods, and then you join the server. Well, the game will tell you you do not have these mods, and they'll ask you download. It will automatically search and download those mods onto your game, so that way you are able to join that said server. It's an automatic process. You don't have to search for them individually. It's really nice. And I wish more games did that, because it would cut down the frustration of trying to mod hunt for modded servers and whatnot. Tanks and aircraft are a lot of fun to build. Here, I built a tank. This thing, the tank MBT Mark 10. and I improved it and made a anti-air variant, the Mark 10 BTL. Very neat, very fun. It's like interesting to figure out how to get those systems to work. So here, this is just going to be a little, I guess, a gunship. My sense of scale when it comes to boats is a bit skewed because I like big boats, and I cannot lie. I'm just doing this to get a sense of what the shape will be. Like a baby battleship. Oh, I saw that there was an update recently for StormWorks where it had NPC crewmen or something like that. And I haven't got a chance to play around with it. I want to. I saw that in Seats you could set a NPC or AI or whatever, and it's like, how? Building, creating. You know, one thing that bums me out a little bit with this game is that slopes aren't true slopes, and that they are just, what's it called? Like blocky slopes. There's this, button or something. It's like the Minecraft information UI or whatever. You press FB on Minecraft and it brings up like this little console thing that shows you all this information. But there's a view that you can activate with StormWorks where it shows you like the blocky volumes, the volumes of the blocks. And a friend of mine showed me that, and I was like, oh, slopes aren't real slopes, actually. They're just this weird thing. No wonder they perform weirdly when it comes to aircraft and avionics. There we go. Neat little boat. One nice key when it comes to building boats is that make them too narrow, they tip and capsize easily. Make them too wide and they'll just look plain ugly. You have to strike a balance between widths. I'm gonna set a little, I want this to be yay wide. U-boats are neat. Submarines are also pretty cool. I managed to successfully make one submarine in this game, and I am very pleased with how it turned out. Unfortunate though is that this game runs like dog doo-doo sometimes, especially with large and complicated builds, and it just goes into slow-mo mode, and it's not fun. Especially if you put a lot of work and time into a construct, just for it to just not work. I'm just getting the sizes down. I think this is a fair width of the boat. Like a fair amount of width. Maybe. It's always good to just frame your boat out. You know what? I have a better idea. Instead of doing that, this is much better. Also wish how damage is done by the guns is revamped. Oh, me too. Me too, definitely. I don't like how the damage is dealt. high explosives should not be able to damage internals of a boat or construct. It should only have surface level damage and should not have any like structural bleed through. Because apparently high explosive works better at armor penetration than actual armor penetrating rounds. It's very funny. Like one thing that I don't like with this game is that how what's it called? Slopes don't matter. Sloping your armor doesn't matter because, like I mentioned earlier with the slopage, how slopes are actually blocky things and not actual true slopes in this game is one way. Oi. Okay, and then we just do this and delete that. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, definitely. Kinetic is the best type of ammo type because it does a nice amount of damage and armor penetration, but high explosive is just way too strong. I don't know if the devs know what they're doing when it comes to damage dealing and how projectiles work. Heck, I made a discussion thread yesterday asking about how people go about their ways of what's it called? How they like to go about armor and protecting their vessels against damage. And the common thing I've seen is subgrids. Game does not like it, like calculating damage with subgrids apparently, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Sloped armor should have a chance to bounce projectiles, definitely. Especially at certain angles and velocities. But, I mean, it's what we have for now. Hopefully we get something better later, maybe. I don't know. That's wishful thinking. Interesting boat arrangement thing. Just freehanding this boat construction. I was wanting to make a turret, but that could come later. I feel that the pointy nose doesn't fit the size. Yeah, no, it most likely doesn't. But I'm freehanding. I'm not planning the construction out like most people typically do. Just build it and see where it goes, and if it looks ugly, then you gotta adopt that ugliness. It's part of the charm. There's a certain style I typically tend to gravitate towards, apparently, when it comes to boat building. Or just building in general. But yeah. Armor thickness and whatnot seem to not matter. At some point, I should experiment with subgrids, because that's what one person said they did. That was very effective, and that was they used a bunch of hinges to create a whole butt ton of subgrids that proved to be a very reliable means of protecting their tank or whatever they're building. Piqued curiosity. Just cleaning this up a bit. subgrids. You know how when you put a pivot down, and one part of the pivot is attached to your ship or construct, while the other part is basically its own thing now. That's essentially what I mean by a subgrid. Like here, I'll show my example. Let's see. Here, velocity pivot. This is a subgrid. And apparently, what this one person said in the discussion thread is that they use a whole bunch of hinges to create some form of weird... Yeah. They use pivots. And they just kept using pivots like block, pivot, or something like that. Because apparently damage doesn't translate well through subgrids in this game. And that's one exploity way to... Yeah, that would. Definitely. The game will start crying, your vehicle has too many subgrids or whatever. Goo. I can't calculate or make all these calculations. Maybe that's the key. Just kill the game's thinking ability, so that way when you take damage, the game's like, oh, I don't know how to process that. I guess you didn't take damage. Maybe that's the key, the mystery that these people figured out. It's very cheesy and exploity. I should just do it this way. Go. One thing that's nice about slopes, at least in real life, is that it increases armor effectiveness while increasing the chances of projectile bouncing. But also, it's neat. Plus, with this big sloped nose of the ship, the bow, it can do some significant ramming and whatnot. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a tactic, I guess. It's like, eat it, kill it before it kills you, eat it before it eats you situation. I like doing it this way when it comes to like slopes in this game. Just double sloping. Because it adds thickness to the slopes. In the grand scheme of how damage works in this game, it probably doesn't matter all too much, but it's better than nothing. You know, one thing I really want the devs to add, because many a times they said it wasn't possible for them to add sails and this and that or whatever, but why not add ammo belts? You know, like autocannon belts, so that way you have a drum of ammo somewhere and it's being fed through a belt instead of a fixed belt. It's a flexible ammo belt, like you would see on typical turrets of the modern era. Right? That would be so nice. Imagine the type of turret possibilities you can make, especially auto turrets or auto cannons. The fact that you don't have to stick the drum right on the gun assembly, increasing the chances of catastrophic destruction when it gets hit or something. That would be so nice. Because the current fixed belts we have, they're neat and all, but they add just so much bulk to a already bulky assembly. If you try to slim it down, you have to sacrifice the belts, and it's like, then your turret won't work. Or you have to sacrifice ammo capacity for slimness or scale. And why do we have to sacrifice functionality for size when in real life they just use ammo belts that flexed. Like chains and whatnot. The shape is coming out. It would definitely make guns on aircraft much easier. Because they said sails weren't possible a long time ago, but now we have sails. They said fishing nets weren't possible. We have fishing nets. So, why not ammo belts? I need a good, valid reason why. The dev team seems completely capable of implementing those kinds of features. They need to give themselves more credit. But of course, it's always one block off. Here we go, just do this. That fixes it. Just doing some quick adjustments. It goes side to side and up and down. Yeah, maybe. The stuff I've seen people make in this game are sometimes mind-boggling. The mind has certainly been boggled. Heck, they made functioning airships using a glitch and slash exploit regarding the game's like wheels or something. One thing personally that I would wish they would refine and improve is how this game handles its own collision effects or collisions, because being able to gain altitude while operating and traversing a turret should not be possible. Like, you should not get flung around just because the turret is suddenly deciding that it wants to turn into itself and whatnot. Doing flips and barrel rolls are causing the physics to jank out because it doesn't want to clip, but it wants to move into itself. Like some form of Skyrim physics situation. Oh yeah, same here. With my tank, it's certainly not the best tank out there, especially when compared to other creations on the Steam Workshop, but it's mine. I built it. I'm pleased. It's very nice. I'm gonna go try doing this. I don't want to do flat slopes. I want to do some gradual up slopes. There we go. Make it have proper boat shape. Certainly weird a little bit, but we're going with that. Gives us more deck space too. We're seeing where this goes. Yeah, but it's going to have that ugly charm. I mean, if anything, I could just cut and then extend it a little bit. It's always easy to do. That's the problem with using 1x4s. You know, I wish we would have a 1x3 block. It would be a nice in-between of the 4 and 2. I mean, technically it is, because 1, 2, 3, 4. Just having more block types would just be nice overall. see how this goes. You know, if anything, this will be a nice, ugly duckling ship. That just depends on how it performs when it sails around and stuff. Dipping and bobbing on the seas. Because sometimes short lengths is not very good. Same thing with long lengths. Make it too long, it gets kind of hard to steer. Make it too short, it has bad stability. There we go. That's most of the hull done, at least. We're still building the shape. You know what? I'm going to take your suggestion and just extend it a little bit. We don't have to widen it or anything. It's just going to increase the length. There we go. Yeah. And this is me saying this is a small ship. A stabilizer? On the boat? I don't know. A lot of my ships don't have stabilizers. This one well, until they added the new keels, one of my ships was borderline unsinkable. I say that as in terms of tsunamis couldn't tip it over and it wouldn't capsize. It was untippable because the weight was just so extremely low in the ship that it was just impossible for it to capsize. It would always self-correct. Even if it was upside down, it would still self-correct. But I don't know, they monkeyed with something with the new, like, stability things, whatever. Boat acts weird now. And I think it's because they added keels to help stabilize ships, sail ships. But I think they just broke something else. I don't know. I'm going to try going the no stabilizer route. The only ship I ever built a stabilizer for in StormWorks was the submarine that I was talking about. It has a stabilizer because it needed to be able to adjust it had to have the ability to shift its center of weight back and forth, and modular engines, nah. I personally don't like the modular engines in this game. They are, let's just say, unusual. The devs have a very... there are some things I don't like about the modular engines that kind of sullied how attractive I find them. They have the ability to output a whole lot of power, but yet at the same time, there's something going on with, like, the heating ratios or heating rates or whatever. And nah. Stock engines are much better. Modded engines are even better than the stock engines. And and there are going to be compartments and bulkheads. This is just the general shape of how the ship is going to be designed and whatnot. We're just doing the overall shapes and constructs. Okay, I should definitely put that there then. That way this is all ready for the rooms whenever I get to putting rooms in. Now I'm trying to ponder out what kind of guns to put on this, because all my ships have guns. Because for the longest time I always ran gun ships. Fishing boat, gunship. It's a rescue ship, it's also a gunship. It's a speedboat, well, your speedboat has guns. Missiles, oof. I have a mixed relationship with missiles. Only because I've made some that work and some that don't work. It's a very hit or miss when it comes to missiles. They don't really have good tracking, but I guess it depends on the missile's design. There's one missile that I made that was amazing. It had amazing flight characteristics. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this really quick. Because I like to be a little gremlin when it comes to survivability. Oh, bam! And then I'm doing double wide bulkheads. Now here's one of the issues with this design is that if I don't put the... Oh no, you're fine. I take it as a personal challenge to build and refine designs. One of my, what's it called, goals when it comes to building in StormWorks is to not use stuff from the workshop unless it's like some sort of like system assembly, like radar assemblies or guidance, computers, that kind of thing. Because people can certainly build it way better than I can, but I want to be able to build it myself. Because I need to learn how to. At least when it comes to structures, that kind of stuff. Boats with radar systems. I got poo brain for Lua and all that schnaz. Lua and logic. I got poo brain and can't figure out how that stuff works, so I will go to the workshop for that kind of thing. Yeah, because I don't know, some of these people are just absolute wizards when it comes to their ability to figure out how to design and get something to work on when it comes to like custom microcontrollers using Lua script and all these fancy schnaz designs. For the longest time, like people would make microcontrollers to get the doors to work on their ships, or like it goes up, down, side to side, that kind of thing. Well, me, I would just be like, I don't know how to do that. I'm just gonna make the process manual. Manual processes and mechanical functions for everything. The custom engines, the modular engines, people make microcontrollers to automate the running of those things to peak efficiencies and whatnot. Nah, me and my modular engines, it's all manual. You have to get the air fuel ratios manual. Everything manual. It's doable. It's feasible, but I don't have the patience for it. Now, alright, so I'm thinking, first off, before I even put the engine down, I'm just going to do a whole belly of weight blocks. To pull the center of weight down into the ship. The reason why I do this is so that way it makes it hard for the ship to tip and capsize. It is a strategy I like to do, without the fancy use of auto stabilizers. Just good old-fashioned brute force. Blocks contribute to the weight, but it's okay. Focusing in the mind. Oh, the engines? Yeah. I don't blame you, because it can get a bit finicky sometimes. But I mean, I manage. There is this one conundrum that I am beset with, whether it's through a design flaw or the game's error or whatever. But there is this ship I have. It utilizes a very large and overly powerful modular engine. And to give a sense of how powerful it is, it's so powerful that it will literally send the ship that uses it, and it's a big heavy ship, by the way, it'll make it do somersaults in the water. Because why not, I guess. It's very funny. But one of my issues with the ship itself is that it's not a very big ship. Space is of a commodity with it, and the problem is that the engine has overheating issues when it's being ran for too long. And I can't seem to fix or solve the overheating issue. Now, I know what's causing the overheating issue, and that's because it's running at full RPMs or RPS or whatever, like just going real ham on those RPMs and just burning out the engine. But at the same time, you can't really reduce the RPMs because the engine wouldn't really output anything at the same time. And I tried building cooling systems to, cool the engine. However, nothing what I do would cool the engine. I would basically build cooling systems all around the ship, and it would still result in the engine overheating. And then I did a side-by-side comparison after building an elaborate cooling system. I gutted the cooling system out with the ship, did a side-by-side comparison of how fast the engine overheated with and without the cooling systems. Turns out it didn't need the cooling system because it overheated at the same rate it did with a cooling system. Even a simple one. Something that wasn't overly complicated at all, whatever, it still overheated because nothing would appease the ship. It would still be unhappy and overheat. So it's like, well, this is disappointing because the ship only has I say it like it's this big thing, but it's really not all that big of a deal. Ultimately, because did you have pumps for the coolant? Yes. Actually, here, you know what? I'm going to take a quick. Here, I'm just going to call this Gunship Mark II. There. Here, I'll show you the ship in question. Let's scroll through this little. It's a bit of an old ship too. Funnily enough, it worked just fine one time, but then an update came out and it broke the ship. And it's typical mantra of, oh, the ship worked. Oh, hang on, this is just the spoof. There we go. It's the situation of, oh, the ship worked this one patch, but then this recent patch came out and broke the ship and whatnot, and that is the spiel. So here is the beast. It is a engine compartment filled with water, and then also you got coolant pumping in and out of the engine at multiple ports. Like, there you go. There. I'm trying to find a nice way to view the engine without having to. Oh well. Yeah, this is the beast. Pumps constantly pulling in and out coolant to cool the engine. You got also coolant pumps down here. And because I couldn't fix or reduce fix the heating issue, radiators? Oh yes, plenty of them. And then also down here is this subcooling system where you got liquid heat exchangers that would take coolant and basically seawater from the outside, pump it into these heat exchangers, and then pump the coolant back into the system. it uses 2 types of cooling systems, and it still did not fix the heating issue. So, with this ship in particular, I just made peace with the reality of, alright, the cooling issue is not gonna go away. I can't fix it. So I'm just gonna build this system to where I could just simply push a button, activate a fire suppression system, and put the engine fire out, and have just blowtorches all over the ship, so that way you have a big beefy supply of repair tools to fix the engine when it breaks. 15 RPS forever then. I would like to, but the boat's weird. It's an enigma, I would say. But aside from that, like I said, it's not really that big of an issue because ultimately the ship has a really high top speed for a boat. I mean, like what? It's like 20-some meters a second or something like that. Almost peaking at like almost 30. Which is pretty good for any ship I built. And the range is pretty nice, too. It has some pretty good range. I mean, it got fuel for days. The range is not about the fuel. It's about when the engine explodes into fire. Like, explodes into a ball of fire or whatnot. But that's why you got tools all over the ship to put the fires at and repair the engine so that way you could get it running again. You just gotta let the engine cool first before you activate it again, or so it just bursts into flames all over again. So with this ship, I'm just building a nice, simple little thingamaboo. I like to just do like a too-high kind of floor railing situation. Now, what kind of ship this would be, I don't know. We'll find out. Now, I'm debating if I should put... Maybe I should. So, some of the recent ships I built utilize... you know how speedboats, where the engine isn't really part of the boat itself, but it's a engine propeller housing that's mounted on a pivot that's attached to the boat, and the engine goes side to side? Like, you know, typical speedboat that you could get from, like, I don't know, Bass Pro Shop or whatever. I've been basically doing a hinged propeller system as of late with some of my recent ships. Really good maneuverability. Hydrofoil. Funny enough, the ship that I just showed, the recent ship, kind of is, almost in a technicality kind of sense, a hydrofoil, but only because it doesn't really use hydrofoils to lift it up out of the water to gain speed. It uses the hydrofoils on the ship to keep it in the water, because without those hydrofoils, the engines are spinning so fast and so strongly that it'll do somersaults or just keep bouncing. Like, it'll just bounce out of the water as soon as the propellers hit the water and whatnot. Now, my question is, where should the fuel tank go? And where should the engine go? I'm going with the modified. If I'm doing these, I'm going to go with the modified variant. Or should I utilize jet engines? Jet engines or propeller engines? I have a nuclear reactor that I could probably... Well, no, it's too big for this boat, but... So, this radial produces 70,000 power. This one also produces 70,000 power, but these large diesels produce 200,000 power. I think I will go for the diesels. Ooh. Here, let's just cut a big hole in the top of the ship because we don't really need to worry about the floors yet. So the center of weight is going to be in the center of the boat. Perfect. So I guess No, it's too narrow. I'm gonna do this. Here, hang on. I like to use flutters to make a big fuel tank. Yes, big fuel tank is good. I will build a fuel tank. But not just yet. I want to... This is the fun thing that I like about StormWorks so much, is that there's many, many possibilities for you to go about when it comes to building in this game. We're just gonna build a big old fuel tank. Alright, you know what? Here. We're gonna build a fuel tank with a walkway through it. There. So it's partly in the center, with enough space for another engine. Here, we are going to move this. Just keep this as like a point of reference. And then we're going to move this again. It is very neat. Yeah, I like that idea. But I don't know if I will use that idea. So this is going to be the air tube, cooling tube, fuel tube. Yes. Now I'm going to put the electrical radiators on the belly of the ship. Because I would believe that seawater is the best way to cool the engine. I mean, cool the radiator. Let's make it really close. Do I have enough for 2 more, maybe? No. I can't... Nah, I can't do that. There we go. This way. This way's better. I wonder if this fuel tank is a reasonable size. Big enough. Maybe expand it a little. I want some good range on this ship. I want it to be able to go pretty far. There we go. This game is great. The only thing I would say that is holding this game back is its performance. And also jank. There's a lot of jank in this game. When it comes to like pivots, subgrids, and also just overall performance issues. Like a large construct just putting so much stress on your game. Not even the computer. It basically does what space engineers used to do back then when you had a large construct. It would just run super slow. This. And we're going to have a little door, little gauge on the inner hallway. Because the reason why I raised it a little bit is so that way... Hang on, just popping down blocks. Is so that way fuel can basically travel underneath the walkway. See? Some real life thingamajig. There we go. This whole thing is going to be a fuel tank. So I am going to do this. There. Little protective sidewall. There we go. Fuel tank. And we'll just run some piping. And here we go. But you know what, here, I don't know why I'm putting a roof on it yet. We don't need it just yet. Just a little, there. Now we'll just have to pipe the engines. I like to color code my pipes. Exhaust is black, air is white, fuel is red, coolant in is dark blue, while coolant out is a light blue. I guess I will be putting the radiators on top. Yeah, I think it'll look nicer. And power is orange. There we go. All engines are piped. Now it's actually time to, put all the bobs together. I guess this would be the pipe room. Fuel pumps. I like to typically go with, since we don't have the engine, I'll just put that away. I like to run with the typical, fluid pumps. So, all these pipes are going to go up here. They're going to traverse up to the surface. Coolant goes up, except for the fuel. The fuel is basically down below. Yeah, definitely. Not just because it looks nice. There we go. One thing I was disappointed to see them remove from this game was that they removed the air filter block. It's still in the game. You can still find it, but they removed it from the build menu because someone told me it's because there are just better things to use than that. But I say, why? Let us keep it. Let us have it as an option. You didn't fully remove it from the game, so coolant goes out. Coolant goes in. And then air goes in. Exhaust goes out. Someone asked me why I don't put catalytic converters on my constructs, and my main reason is They take away engine power. But I don't like that catalytic converters will reduce the amount of power for your engine. And someone was trying to argue like, oh no, like, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's like, well, in real life, yeah, no. But in this game, it does. It takes away engine power because it's, I don't know, forcing it to port. All I know is that one catalytic converter is not going to do much of anything to, let's say, this kind of engine system. You'll need a big, beefy one. You want to get some work done. Go. I guess this will be a... put this up here, and then make it translate similar to the fuel tank, but it's not the fuel tank. This is going to be where the stairs go. I wonder if it would even be possible. Nah. It would be unnecessary. Alright, so here. Not the cone air filter that acts as an intake. They still have it. It's technically called the air filter, but I'm talking about a different block. I'll go into here and find it really quick. Air filter. This little gadget. It's technically now considered a legacy block, but what this thing used to do was that you would apply different filters on this block to prevent or allow the transition of fluids and gases through it. So like exhaust will only go through the pipe that has exhaust set to it. It basically used magic. Right, so this system will be very, very simple. First, let's just build the cooling system really quick. Then I'll demonstrate the uses of this block. But yeah, no, thankfully they didn't remove the nice looking when they removed it. Honestly, I personally do not know when specifically they removed the air filter block, but I do know it was removed when they did the like pressure and gases stuff. Because apparently, I guess there was no need for it anymore since someone was explaining how there are systems in this game now that basically does that kind of process without the need of a block. But personally, I like to use the block anyway. There it goes. Simple, elegant, and effective. Where I'm going to put the smokestack is probably going to be in the center. I don't know where the smokestack is going to go. Maybe on the side. It's not going to go where the air intake is. There. Over here. Smokestack. For each side. There we go. I'll put it... Yeah, right there, it's fine. Yeah, you would only really use it for a system. It's really good for, actually, here, I'm about to install it, really. Oh, I'll have to do that. Because enclosed, yeah. There we go. So this system is going to be fairly simple. I'll just need to figure out the layout first. So we got in, and then we got an ouch. I'm trying to figure out where to put the air intake. Keep it simple. No, we probably would only need one pump. And much simpler if you do it one pump. So here, hang on. So with this block here, do with this, let's say we put it here. No. Too close. I'll need to move this whole assembly. There we go. Now essentially, what we could do with this system, once I finish piping it, this is a very simple. So with this, allow fresh water, turn everything off but air. With the other piece, just turn air off. So the idea with this block is that air will go through here, and because I said to where only air could go through this one piece, water will go through and out this pipe while only letting air through this pipe. And it's not some sort of like magical filter where like you go underwater and you can run an air engine because it'll separate air from water. No, I don't think that's how it works. Essentially what it does is that it allows liquids that have entered this engine system to, well, the specific system I set up will allow liquids and anything else that's not supposed to be air out of the system. So that way, whatever's not supposed to be there can get pumped out instead of getting stuck in the air system. It's very nifty. It prevents a lot of my engines from dying. Selection grid, let's just paste this here. Bam. Check it really quick. Allow air on and then turn everything else off. So only clean air can go through. I'll have to do another assembly for the other side as well. And it'll do this. So just one at a time. It's both. Terrific. There we go. It had some uses, but I like to use it for my engines. It made protecting the engine system itself from being waterlogged very nice. Prevents waterlog or hydrolocking or whatever that is, and keeping the engine nice and clean. And it'll just make a little port that spits the water out. Oh, I was one block off. So this will be for the excess, or the discard. I'll do this. Why not? That's one thing I like doing in StormWorks, is experimenting with different types of setup. And you know what? Because I like to sometimes, I like to use spawn just out of spite. This is a perfectly fine thing that still functions. So here we go. And these will be for exhaust only. So that way water can't go through the exhaust system and into the pipe. Even though technically that is most likely very unlikely to happen. But I like to think of things that wouldn't necessarily happen, because it's fun to build around it. This is one of the fun things that I like when it comes to building ships and just vehicles in general, is just piping everything together. So we don't necessarily need this anymore. We can just fill that line in. There we go. Fun to lay piping down. You know, I saw that Markiplier one time played this game, and he unfortunately didn't get around to messing around with the ship builder system, which is greatly disappointing, because I was really looking forward to see how he would handle trying to build something in this, or any other kind of YouTuber, really. Like, I saw Worst Pre-Made Ever play around with this, but unfortunately they didn't mess around with the sub editor. Another missed opportunity. But I mean, what can you do? It's not for everybody. Now, my question is, should I put these on a high stack? Because of the situation of, you know, waves blocking the intake, causing the engine to die, that kind of thing. There we go. You know what? Nah. We'll work with it. Little bits right there. That's the engine system done. And you know what? We're gonna put the batteries down here somewhere too. Not in here, but maybe up in here. Yes. Oh, much better. Maybe we could fit 2 batteries. Unfortunately, it's the same problem with the engine. So, let's put some stairs and complete the connection between the 2 floors. A helipad, or scout plane launcher. That would be neat. However, I don't have any, well, I do have 1 aircraft that is small enough to be able to land on a ship, small ship, but it's still relatively large. I don't think this boat's big enough for a scout plane or even a helipad. I don't have a lot of helicopters. I should build some more, though. I built 1 helicopter that works. But I need to do more. More is better. So here. I'm going to put it on the edge. There we go. We'll just assume this is the ship's spine. Left mouse for stairs? Unfortunately, no. No, you can't. Which is very unfortunate. Missed opportunity, honestly. Such a quality of life change would be great. Now, like this. I think I will be able to get this boat functional and operational within the streaming time. There we go. All batteries connected to one another, and now one battery is going to power everything individually. That's one thing that, when it comes to building, that I don't care for, is that it's just connecting everything with the logic, wiring everything together. It's a slog sometimes. I don't know why. I like the piping better than the wiring. There we go. Now time to think of the engine, the propulsion. Here, first, big thing, save. Now let's see how it fares in the water. It's a little front heavy as to expected because of the batteries and you know what? I can make this a fuel tank. Or maybe not. This currently is unladen with fuel, so I want this to be able to operate balance when the fuel gets low. So I'll just throw some weight blocks in here. That should even it out a little. Yeah, much better. Ooh, it's a little low. Whatever. It's gonna get even lower than this. Once I put the fuel thing in. Speaking of which, I still need to do the fuel lines. We'll go for simplicity, easy peasy. Fluid spawner. Diesel, yes. Now we're gonna run fuel lines. Actually, yeah. There we go. I want to run the fuel lines over here, so that way I could just... Oh, yeah. Do this really quick, just like this side. Some, like, double inner wall. Because I am not going to do that with the other side. There we go. Ooh. What? Oh. Block. Oh, did I use the U's for that? I need to see this now. Okay, good. No. Maybe. Okay, no, it's good. I didn't mistakenly use the wrong block for the thingies. Let us resume. There we go. Proper block. could just run some simple... what's it called? Intakes. It's on the bottom of the ship, too, so that the fuel can just get to the very bare minimum. I think I'll want the fuel line pumps to be available to repair. Let's get these long pipes going. Lines and lines of fuel. You know, it would be neat if they added a system where a fuel line, a line that is connected to fuel, could catch fire and eventually trail back to the fuel tank, causing a fuel fire. Maybe an explosion. Now that would be neat. It wouldn't really be funny when it comes to someone on the receiving end, but it'll still be pretty neat. Fix that little discrepancy. We don't really have exhaust anymore as a selective thing. Buttons. I mean, that's technically what exhaust is. It's just carbon dioxide and air. I mean, oxygen, right? Air can be anything, really. Save this. Spawn it. Oh, it has a really, really low presence in the water. You know what? That's okay. We'll just do this. Boat itself is going to be underwater. Strange problems require strange solutions. We're going to have a cabin at the top. see how this fares. Oh, come on now. You could float better than that. Here, I'm going to shave a little bit of the weight blocks on the back. So it was a little bit much. This little adjuster should be good. Alright, so the cabin. I'm just going to make a box for general reference of the cabin. It's going to be a bizarre boat, but that's what makes it fun. I wonder if the exhaust would work underwater. There. Basic box, just for general reference or guide to where the cabin will be. Boy, take too much, it goes too far. Put some more back down. Can't be like, ooh, we don't like that much. Ah, much better. Oh, this is so weird, but it's perfect. It sits really low. But you know what? That might be a good thing. Now, let's see. We're done with the piping. For now. I will worry about the piping momentarily. I'd need a enclosed angle straight. I need a door. I need a simple hinge door. There we go. This is going to be a very goofy boat, and I can't wait till it's done, honestly. My gremlin laughter. Step 3. We'll use 2x2s. use 4x4s back here. Perfect. Now, the main hull of the ship is so low in the water that what's going to be visible is just this fin, this conning tower fin thing. That's what I'm at least hoping. The reason why I'm giddy about that is because one of the funny things when it comes to naval combat, especially in my experiences playing War Thunder and playing around with the Navy modes and whatnot, is that hitting ships that sit really low in the water is really hard to do sometimes, especially at range. And if I could get down a nice gun system for this thing could probably be a funny little boat to deal with. Yeah, like that better. Perfect. Oh. Perfection. And this is actually one of my quests when it comes to building boats as of late. Is I've been trying to build a boat that's really low in the water to where the goal is that it's really hard to hit. Because my idea is the lower in the water, the better. So the majority of the hull is sitting beneath the water, that it's going to be really difficult for whoever's trying to shoot you to actually hit you. Just taper that. And yes, I do love playing War Thunder. I stopped playing as much because there's only so much I can handle playing War Thunder sometimes. Alright, so we're gonna have... We'll have a tube going down. This tube is the stairwell, the ladder well, I mean, to the beneath. Oh, this is going to be the bridge. A lot of layers. We got a lot of layers going on. Phone call. 1 second. I have returned. The ship is coming along nicely. Better than I expected, honestly. Like to make it narrow. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't put that there. There we go. I want it small, confined. Nice, thick neck. So we can put it down a little bit more. And then just make it this way. Make it look nice and clean. And then, to seal the deal, put a door. Actually, first we'll put the door here. But also we'll put a door there's a lot going on, but oh, actually, you know what? This is a decent. Actually, nah, yeah, that's fine. There we go. And then to get down, there we go. Let's get some more ladders, so that way you don't have to just bounce or whatever. There, so you could grab it a bit. And I wonder if this is even doable. Yeah, it's doable. Just don't have to look pretty, it just has to work well. There. Perfect. I like the narrow, claustrophobic feel. Could put a window, maybe. It's such a dumb boat. Air stack is going to be up there. Pipe angle. Bam. Bam. Yeah, let's just delete all of that. Makes it simpler to visualize. is going to have to travel a bit. But it'll be worth it. There. You know, I forgot. This ship is going to be interesting. Now, I'm curious to what kind of gun system I should slap on. I'm thinking about like a battle cannon arrangement. Oh, you know what? I'll take the BTLD cannon system and mount it on this. I like the system a lot. Here we go. All right, that's this done. Air stack complete. Smokestack. We'll worry about the smokestack later. What's important is the air. I kind of want to Spaceballs now. Where are the Spaceballs? Look out! Merchandising, merchandising. There we go. We're building ugly boats today. We're done with the pipes, I believe. We'll get to making the bridge glass now. We're going to do a simple pyramid, a frame, glass house, bird cage, whatever kind of cockpit, bridge, helm thing. Have you seen Womdingers? I heard it was pretty cool. Ooh, it's gonna cut into it. pointy bit has to stick outwards. That's okay. Oh dear. Perfect. It's a silly boat. Figure out this little belly section here really quick. Let's see. It's too short. So that this lower compartment can still stay relatively sealed away. It's so silly. I'm already starting to think about the propulsion, like the propeller assembly, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to do that right now. Hey, it slots in perfectly. So we made this not so well working boat into a interesting little thing. Is this sitting on the bottom? It is not, for the most part. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Hey, the visibility's pretty nice. It's so silly. So, the goal right now is to get it hooked up with some propellers. There we go. Right here. Now the gear ratios, I have no idea what to set it to. There we go. This is where the propellers are going to go. We'll just pipe it together. Including the gearboxes. Clutches and gearboxes. Ba-bam. Oh, good. All right, this will work. To keep the floor space clear for the player. Yes. It's perfect. Angle, angle, angle. There we go. Now we just put the blocks back. We'll add clutches. And a simple gearbox system. Because right now, current focus is to get it functional. We're going to converge these. Into one single engine train. That is going to power two separate propellers. That way the stress on the engines is shared. I'm pretty sure I don't need to put pivots on the what's it called? The engines itself. I mean the propellers. We'll just pop it out there. Put little this, make it look nice. And then we'll add some propellers. Large. No, that's too big. Bitch. Oy. That is way too big. Small. just add a number. Set the number to 1. And then attach it to the logic. Right now, the goal is to make it. Ooh, see how it forms in the water. Medium. We'll get fancier with the engine system later when we know what we want. I'm going to add the simple rudder. Also, it's always best to turn off symmetry whenever you're doing boat stuff. There. Such a silly boat. I can't stop saying it. At a simple button assembly. Push button, toggle button, no, key button. What on this side? Key button. The throttle here is engine. Throttle here, clutch. This push engine, this push button, is going to be for the starters of the engines. And the key button is to be applied to all pumps and other toggleable electrical devices, including the radiators. There we go. And then we're going to add simple steering A and D to the rudders. And once this is all powered, it should be able to move and function. Oh, we forgot to do the fuel lines, but that's okay. Finish what you're doing currently before you step away to do something else. There we go. But look at all that deck space that we have available for a deck gun. Now we deploy it and see how it functions. So let's... Alright, so this is the first test voyage. She moves! It's incredibly slow! Haha! Alright, so because of that, I now see that I'm gonna have to trim away some of those weight blocks in the back. But I'm pretty sure the boat is way too heavy for that. But way too happy to see these weight blocks go. Let's see. Let's see how that performs. It's always best to apply gradual changes. That looks a little bit more level. This boat is boat. It's boating, like a boat should. I mean, a simple fix can be applying more weight to the front, but I don't want to do that. First things first, I remember it pulling away from the engine. The speed. Let's just put 3 to 1. See how that goes. And then we'll also reduce more weight. More weight! More weight! And the man kept asking for more weight, refusing to disclose the names of the prosecuted. There we go. Now the front's a little bit more heavier than the back, which should translate well when the boat's moving. I wonder if Arcane is this. I guess ideal. Another set of gearboxes, but this time applying to the outwards application of the engine. There we go. And then we'll 3 to 1. We'll also set the propellers to 8 blades. Power the gearbox. I mean, it doesn't technically need power because we're using the power off setting. I mean, to be fair, the boat is pretty heavy. But, I mean, snail's pace is unacceptable. You got 4 big diesel engines. Oh yeah, much better. Look at it go. Honestly though, it's not a good boat. But hey, I made a boat! engine room. Fascinating. It needs a lot of work. It'll need some refinement. But it's certainly a boat, at least. Uh-oh. Is this a design flaw? Oi. The stairwell is a horrendous design flaw. It's certainly something. I do not think highly of this boat. Though I will want to mess around with some more of the NPC stuff, actually. So here, reveal map. I want to shoot some NPCs now. See if we can find one that's at a place where we could deploy a ground vehicle. I guess the airport will have to do, or no, this place. Can I spawn my vehicle out here? Nah. I think the best course of action is to go to the airport since it is close. We're going to get some action now. The stream is nearing its conclusion. Hey, look at that. But before things can get concluded, I want to shoot some stuff down. Now, I saw a workbench out over here. What is this, actually? Hello? Oh. Ooh. Ooh, hang on. The Mark 10 BTL. It fits. Huzzah. This is this little tank I built. I built the tank platform and then I changed out the main tank gun for this manned anti-air gun. It has 2 battle cannons, 4 heavy autocannons, and 4 light autocannons. Now let's go see if we can make some NPCs very angry. The operation is pretty simple. W key to increase this number up here. And it drives really nicely. Behold. No, we're not going to tilt. We're going to set away. Any air aircraft, we will stop the vehicle and then engage. No, but yeah, onboard ammo capacity is not really all that high, but the idea of this vehicle is not to operate by itself, but instead in group, like an arrangement or something. I don't know. The idea is, yeah, you're supposed to have the ammo truck with you. I believe it has 15 shots for the battle cannon. I can't remember specifics. One of the issues I've noticed with the screens now is that they're very jittery. But I had this little camera, a new camera periscope, makes this operation really nice. 45 kilometers. Hedge. Enemy aircraft. Let's get a little closer so more can spawn. Evade. Missile maneuvers. Alright. Quick. Ouch. Operation of this tour is pretty simple. Just hop in this little hole here. It's extremely cramped. Aha, I got him. Oh, hello. Oh, it got my traversal unit. Got my turret ring. There. This thing is very repairable. At least for the most part. I try to make it as repairable as possible. Oh. Repair, quick. I hope it didn't get stuck. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, there we go. I keep getting in just for it to shoot my controls out. Oh, just you wait. First, get the jet. I had to disable, or I had to turn off, what's it called? camera shake for this because autocannons will just shake that your screen. Oh, I almost got him. Bam, I got him. He is disabled. Bam. You know what? Here. Use the battle cam for this. Oh, just a little bit over. Struck? Why? Bam! It's very satisfying to shoot down something with the battle cannons. Just lock the turret back in place. Disable the lasers and we can pop out. Oh yeah, and that was a assortment of counter flare launchers or whatever. Smoke launchers, flare launchers, that kind of stuff. This turret is manned. Well, it's a manned turret, so you need someone in the gunner seat to operate it. I'd like to think that the visibility's pretty decent. It gets the job done. It's good enough. What are these things? Gophers. Turtles! Some turtles and there's turtles in this game. I didn't know that. Oh, the more you know, I guess. I won't be able to climb that. It's not flip. Besides, these things have magical detection radars, so even if we manage to air quotes sneak up to it, no problem. It's not a very fast tank, but it's a tank nevertheless. G2B here. Oh, there goes the thing. Spinning. Holy moly. That worked out. And we could just repair the damage. or so. Oh yeah. Now, reverse and let it. Okay, she's done. The battery's been damaged. But, I mean, it was a pretty decent test run. And with that, I am going to conclude this stream. Got some pretty decent work done. We made an ugly boat that doesn't really work very well. But, you know what? Can't win them all. And I shot down some stuff. So, I'd say it was a very conclusive and productive stream. And I hope you guys liked it. I will see you guys later.